Philippians 4:6. So Paul says, don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank him for all that he's done. So here's the third takeaway from this verse. When you pray, thank God for what he has done. Right? Paul says it's really good. You should go to God. You should pray about the things that you need. But don't forget to thank God for what he's already done. For the prayers that he's already answered. For the ways that he's already shown up in our lives. Really, I would say for his ever-present grace. I have two daughters, ages 10 and 6. And this summer, we went to Fenwick Island in Delaware to spend a few days at the beach. And it was the best vacation we've ever had. But both of the girls, they're at this really cool age. We're out of the toddler phase, which was like life crushing. I prayed a lot to God during that season of my life. But they're both in elementary school now, and so they're just fun. Like, they're fun to hang out with. We don't have to worry anymore about naps. We can be at the beach for hours without them getting bored. They play with each other. They're best friends. It's wonderful. And so we planned out this whole vacation. It included time at the beach. We went to the outlet mall. We went to the pool. We went to the movies. We had ice cream every night sometimes for dinner. We even went out to like a fancy restaurant, which is just a restaurant that has like silverware wrapped in a napkin. They think those are the best. It was the best vacation we have ever had. On the day we left, we woke up early. We got to the beach. We spent a few more hours there before heading back home to Frederick. And when we got home, it was around the mid-afternoon, and so we started unpacking things, putting things away, starting laundry, all that boring stuff. And in the middle of it, both my girls came up to me and they asked, "What are we doing tonight?" And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, we just went to the beach for 5, like we just did everything you wanted for 5 straight days. We just said yes to everything. And now you're trying to tell me you're bored. And so I responded back to them. I was like, hey, we are doing nothing. We're just going to relax tonight. And you would have thought that I told them that their dog had died. Like their shoulders slumped. They just start crying. I know they're tired, but they start crying. And they proceed to tell me how bored they are and how terrible their life is. Like we didn't just spend 5 days doing everything fun that they could think of. But here's the thing. I think we do the same thing with God. But instead of with boredom, it's gratitude. We're just so focused all the time on what we want or even the things that we need that we forget about the ways that God has already shown up in our lives or that he's currently showing up. I think we've conditioned ourselves to view prayer as only an opportunity to make requests to God, forgetting the prayers that God answered 10 years ago, 10 months ago, 10 days ago, even 10 minutes ago. And so in his teaching, Paul corrects this. He redirects us. He says, listen, don't forget in your prayer to take a step back so you can continue to see what God has already done in your life. Right? And this isn't like a catch-22 where it's like if you don't say thank you, you don't get the thing you want. He's just saying you need to do both. It's petition and thanksgiving. It's telling God what you need and thanking God for what he's done. And I know for me, there are times when I'm praying and I don't feel like God is doing anything with my prayers. But if I remember this verse and if I'm mature enough to take a step back and see the bigger picture, I see that God is moving, often in ways better than what I'm praying for, in ways that prove that he is the God who created the universe and placed me in it and not the other way around. So let me ask you this, what are you thankful for? Listen, I know that you need God to show up in your marriage. I know that you need God to give you wisdom in your parenting. I know that you need God to help you break your addiction. I know that you need God to get you through your grief. I know that life is hard right now. Trust me, I fully understand that. But also, what are you thankful for? What has he already done in your marriage that feels like a miracle? How has he already shown up in your parenting? How has he already helped you in the addiction? How have you felt his grace in your grief?